to everybody. Yes, we are moving forward a patch here this week for Super Week 12.4. It's got some nerfs to the roaming support top style. However, it doesn't seem to be doing enough damage to free the red side from those two obligatory bans of Zeri and Gwen. Also banning out the Caitlyn for the side of Dig, Tom Kench, Jarvan, Karma banned out for C9, and a lock-in of Hecarim as Whispers are finding their way through the halls of the Hecarim and Udyr meta returning.
Yep, the speed clearing and speed ganks from both of those types of champions. Pretty common into each other, by the way, so would not rule out a River Udyr here. One of the matchups I'm most excited for in this matchup is River versus Blaber. River really prioritizes, ganking early, ganking often. The Jarvan is his kind of iconic pick. But watching Champions Queue this last weekend, this man was literally dropping 20+ kills in Champions Queue games with all other pro players on Lee Sin as well. So he is definitely not a one-trick. Maybe we'll see the Lee Sin pop up. Maybe we'll see that Udyr, but we're getting really deep in the bans. And hover over from Fudge once again. A bunch of shout outs from him. But the two that we talked about, the AD carry trades, there's no surprise here. This is one thing that has not changed at all on this patch. Jinx and Aphelios both scale extremely well, just a little bit in different ways, where Jinx looks for, burst damage on the team to kill one champion to get the reset. And Ahri is in perfect position after the buffs to do just that. So, oh yes, we get what I wanted, the Lee Sin baby. I've been watching Champions Queue all week. Every single game, River has literally dropped 20+ kills on this champion. He has been turbo smurfing with Lee Sin. Extremely excited what he can do against a low mobility carry like Jinx. I do think Ahri, though, with the current state of the buffs, is in a very good spot and can add that burst damage we're talking about to try and get Jinx a reset.
I also just love a champion like Lee Sin with a play style like Rivers. The fact that he's so active, the fact that it's not this farming style, make a play where you can. It's no. There's always a play to be made. You just have to find it. And Lee Sin is perfect for that sort of a play.
And so the trade-off we're going to look at as we get into second rounds of bans, which are all going to be focused on solo lanes, top side and mid have both not been picked by Dig. And since they know they're going to have to blind pick top first, they're banning away to protect their top lane pick here for FakeGod. FakeGod is generically on weak side champions usually. Sometimes they do run him on a carry, but it's most commonly Dignitas playing towards the bottom side of the map. And so you can already see them setting up this pick. Maybe something like a Gnar, something that's going to get countered here by the all-in from Aurelia, from Camille. They're trying to protect him a little bit from those more aggressive topside picks from Summit, who has been one of the top laners that has most heavily impressed in the LCS in 1v1s and split push scenarios.
Not even just in the LCS, almost every story I hear out of Champions Queue that has something to do with Summit is just how hard he smurfs on everybody, how impressed everyone is with his gameplay. Definitely a force to be reckoned with up there in the top side. Dignitas will lock in their mid laner here in the Zoe, having already known the enemy mid laner in the Ahri. And C9, let's see what it's going to be here. What are we going to get for those support and top lane roles? The Leona locked in for support.
When you have a Jinx style composition here, just trying to get some more safety for the Jinx for some of the team fight, because they've got everything that they need, everything equipped to be able to take down these dragon fights. With Ahri from mid lane, should be able to work on some push there. I will say, though, Zoe is quite a good pick into it, and especially for blue. Zoe's been one of the champions that him coming over, people had fairly low expectations, and he's definitely surpassed those. Zoe has been one of the champions that he has performed the best on. And if Dignitas want to double down on that long-range poke style here with a Jayce pickup into Gnar, which is both a good matchup and a good strategy for the team overall to have some extra range for them later on, that is a strong angle, but it's a very bold one, because you are already picking double range poke into hard CC, hard engaged, which is what you want to counter long range poke with. So they're picking this into Leona plus Hecarim plus Gnar. Even Ahri has the dashes and the gap closers there to try and get back and punish Jayce and Zoe. So it is a strong strategy right now, but it is also going to put a lot of pressure on the peelers here for Dig and the disengage, because Cloud9 have tons of hard CC and long range engage to force this.
So which side of the draft are you liking better?
I'm liking Cloud9.
Okay,
I'm liking Cloud9 because I do find it easier to find those flank angles and try and crush the snowballing that you need from the long range, from the poke composition. The poke composition, I feel like there's always more pressure on it to keep up pressure the entire game, pushing and trying to poke them down, trying to gain those little health leads, before objectives. Whereas Cloud9, they have so many options for flanks and for hard engages here. You only really need to crack that poke style siege a couple of times to get enough gold to force on dragons. It's a lot easier to set up for 5-on-5s at these neutral objectives.
Alrighty, we're about to kick off Super Week. 3 days of LCS action instead of just the 2. You love to see it. I'm hoping we get plenty of spice here in this first game. We were watching LEC backstage before we came out here today. There were some games.
A 13,000
games
gold
being played
lead
in the LEC today.
Woo.
So I'm hoping, maybe not quite that much of a throw, but I'm hoping we get to see some wild situations.
Yeah, and just quickly touching on it, that was at 17.5 minutes. Was that goalie? So that not only was it massive, but it was also very early on in the game. Let's take a look at this one though.
All right.
If we are looking at early game, remember we had that magnifying glass on River, especially with this Lee Sin. If you didn't listen to Champion Select, let me refresh you on some of the possibilities here.
Also, shame on you.
River has been turbo smurfing in Champions Queue with Lee Sin. He has had multiple games, 20+ kills dropped on this champion. And reminder that Champions Queue is all, pro players or former pro players at kind of the pinnacle of competition. So I'm very, very excited to see what creative paths River actually comes up with, because Jarvan, his other signature champion, he has been very, very aggressive in looking for deep wards early on. And you can see already on top side, they're trying to get some information here on Blaber's start on the blue.
Okay, and we're already seeing the ghost come out from Blaber. We're not going to get a whole lot else from that. I have a little bit of trading back and forth. Both top laners lose a small amount of HP. FakeGod finds an auto attack, extra little bit of damage over the wall here. And River is starting with the enemy blue buff here, as Summit just is absolutely getting whooped on by FakeGod up here, zoning him away. Nicely done from the Dignitas duo of top and jungle to secure this buff.
And he's really showing why one of the big reasons Jayce is very good into Gnar is because when you are in mini Gnar, you have very little armor. And so FakeGod trying to abuse this as early as possible. Level 1 mini Gnar takes so much damage in these trades that it's a very good call, intelligent call here from Dig to force the invade. They have winning early jungle and winning early top side with the Jayce into Gnar. So one of Hecarim's weakest points is early on. He wants to farm up. Definitely wants to try and power clear early on before the first purchase. And so they kind of force that fight. Here's the response from Blaber though, being covered by River. Even though Cloud9 have a pushing bottom lane, the mere fact that River transitions back to this side of the map after only taking his Raptors is enough to waste Blaber's transition time that he used for the invade, and is a very good kind of pace here for the side of Dig.
So this is what we want to see from River, is being able to respond to this well. You already said that you want to see Blaber focus on that early farming, try to avoid the PvP with the enemy Lee Sin. Where do you want to see River's focus at? Is it more up around that top side? Is it here in this bottom lane? What's the angle?
Yeah, I'm sad that we don't have the drawing tool up right now. Where we're trying to work on getting that one available so we could illustrate it, but it is definitely in Dignitas' interest to isolate the top side matchup for the early levels. So that FakeGod can abuse that matchup to the maximum. They don't want any sort of volatility from junglers going up there, because that's the only way that early on, especially considering the level 1 health trade that was very beneficial for the Jayce, that will allow Summit, any sort of early kill pressure. Later on, it's like, okay, can you get the Mega Gnar timing with the jungle game? Those are the best ways to relieve the Jayce pressure. And so River's goal here is constantly trying to mirror Blaber. He's trying to track Blaber here and keep him away from influencing that matchup. They're kind of ping-ponging back between top side and bottom side. With the bottom side having such strong push there for the Cloud9 members, they weren't really scared of the gank, from the Lee Sin. So they've been able to secure both scuttles worth of vision and quite a lot of safety for themselves.
We saw River coming up here to potentially contest that Scuttle Crab against Blaber, but it's very easy to just burst these crabs down if you have an ability that can knock out the shield so fast like that, as well as the smite being able to break them these days. There's just not a whole lot to it. So Blaber got that and got out. Checking back up here in top side, it is still FakeGod with control right now. Has a little bit of extra farm over Summit, but again, nothing really to write home about. The gold is dead even between the teams right now. You can see at the top part of the screen. 17, I believe that is one caster minion's different.
And this is one of the points where you want to, with Jayce, leverage this advantage. You've got a regeneration advantage there. Only a shield on the Gnar, so no more consumables, and you still have 2 biscuits in FakeGod's inventory. So much sustain advantage. And he has control of the wave because Summit here is in mini form. So if they could have brought River, Lee Sin over for some pressure, these would be one of the timings where you could try and set up a slow push to crash the wave, look for the dive on the level 5 mini Gnar. These are the vulnerable points for the champion, because if you let the champion, as you're saying, continue to scale and continue to CS fairly freely there, then Gnar is going to become a problem for your overall style. Because remember, Dig are kind of heavily invested in range and poke damage.
Right.
And so one thing they are worried about are the flash engages and the flanks that do come later on in the game after the Gnar gets a bit more tanky and looks more towards the team fighting. Thus far, Summit is doing quite admirably on the Gnar, CSing just fine. And Blue might be the first one to take a gank. Looks like it's just going to be a fairly shallow ward. Pretty nice by him, doesn't expose himself to a lot of threat.
Well, Blaber goes over the wall, finds himself in the river against River, as Blue jumps in, saves the trouble bubble. Blaber's just going to walk away there, spins the ghost to do it, but does not want to get into any sort of a situation there with those two.
Meanwhile, topside, both of them get their first recalls off. Early steel caps now for the Gnar. There's your armor that's going to help you deal with a lot of that early harassment. So Summit now is really going to be feeling a lot better. Early armor investment, merely a tier along with the serrated Dirk pickup here for FakeGod. So the lethality provided by the serrated Dirk is pretty much nullified by the early armor pickup of those steel caps. And that's why you can see it turning back around. So now FakeGod just going to be stacking up his tier. Bottom side, nice hook from Biofrost.
The engage coming out, and Berserker immediately spending both summoner spells to get himself to safety, as Dignitas shows they are not afraid to take it to the Cloud9 2v2.
All right, maybe some bottom side aggression can get this map a little bit more exciting. The side of Dignitas gets their first few hits onto some of the turret plates here as well. Bottom side minion wave gets annihilated with the Infernum Gum, and they can get their recall off while they force Berserker to have a pretty rough one. It is a cannon stacked wave there. Top side will be a gank though. Mini form again here for Summit.
And Blue's coming up as well. Summit coming around. Probably just to ward that brush there. Yep, he's going to see what's going on. So that just means Dignitas backs away from this one. Summit did not actually have any backup nearby. His mid laner was still down in mid. His jungler was nowhere near, but Dignitas doesn't want to risk anything here.
Yeah, and Summit is now a full wave of CS up on the Jayce. So going quite nicely for him. Meanwhile, River here on the Lee Sin, level 6, still has not been able to get off an influential gank in the game. So we'll try and look. Maybe bottom side where Berserker has no summoner spells. I think that Dignitas would be remiss if they're unable to capitalize on double summoner spells burned on the Jinx due to Biofrost's nice previous play with the hook down bottom side. Both teams will be aware of this, so you can see Blaber trying to cover that possible play as well. Him being pretty good as far as the defense for jungle. You know, Hecarim with level 6 as well. And the early upgrades that he's getting now on his first back should put him in a position to be able to answer.
I don't know, man. River having the flash, having the kick on Lee Sin. Not only no summoner spells on Jinx, no protection from the support either. It's not a Braum, it's not a Thresh. This looks juicy.
Yeah, and I've been talking it up too. I was like, oh yeah, you just wait. River's been dropping 20 bombs on his Lee Sin. If he doesn't, like, he's got to start now. 20 is a lot to get to, so see if we can get to that work pretty quickly here, because thus far, farming Lee Sin versus farming Hecarim, every single day of the week, you take the farming Hecarim.
That goes to the horse, of course. Lee Sin needs to get onto the table. We'll see how Dignitas want to navigate it. River here in the bottom side. River, he'll be in the pixel brush that he's already got the control ward there ready to go. Let's see if this play can make anything happen. It doesn't really look like they're going to really find the angle onto Fudge here. He'll walk back into the side brush. We're just not getting any action yet, Mr. Kobe. Nope. Summit jumps forward, but he's not in range to try to slam FakeGod into the wall. So Blaber just clears out a ward, and he's back to the farming.
No action, and we're all dressed up here. We dressed for action, okay? We're literally action heroes at the moment.
We need to get you a cape. That's why we didn't get Kobe a cape, damn it.
I'm actually not a big fan of the superhero capes, and I know this has been touched on before, but they really just seem like a safety hazard to me.
A safety hazard?
Yes.
But you're super.
So I don't know if you know my background, but starting out in industrial engineering, you work a lot in manufacturing scenarios, and heavy machinery, very big danger for capes. And so, oh, hello! There's no action, so you get to see us. All right, ready? We got to sync our high five.
Okay.
3, 2.
Oh, no, we did it perfect, too!
Wow, they denied it.
I hope they could have heard at least the clap of the high five coming together for that one. But
True.
Anyway, the high five succeeded, but no other plays this game have. 500 gold lead for Cloud9 without any deaths on the board. Summit's going in, and he's looking for more. FakeGod jumps right back in the wall, and then smack upside the head for a 1v1 kill.
Oh, my goodies. Summit takes it right to him. FakeGod into the wall. Here we go. Ahri is asleep, though. No follow-up because of the double support roam timers. There's a reason Summit has been highlighted here thus far as one of the top laners with the most control in the LCS. With some steel caps, he gets a solo kill there, Flowers.
Steel caps and an empty potion.
FakeGod gets clapped against the wall, no summoner spells blown, and so that's actually very good for the Gnar because it means Summit still has flash for a follow-up flash Gnar play if his team needs it. And this Herald is at 3,000 health. They're transitioning over now. Summit coming from base. He might even be able to get there in time. The eyes popped.
Okay, there it is. It's stolen away by Cloud9, but now Blaber's in the middle, and he has to try to stay alive. Biofrost going to take a lot of damage. He's bursted down. It'll be a 1-for-1 trade. River tries to get away, down to 100 HP. Neo pops the cleanse, trying to drop the ulti, but he won't get a kill. Double back over to Fudge, and C9 gets 2 for 1 with a Rift Herald cherry on top.
Blaber says, not in my house, you don't. He gets the smite on the Rift Herald as well, Flowers. And then he knows that he's going to die first. So Blaber, low HP on the Hecarim. You've got two choices. You ult out and everyone flames you for leaving.
Or die with glory.
Exactly, and try and save your KDA, or die with glory, get your ultimate fear off on the team. Oh my God, is Summit gonna get another one?
That was
barely short on that stun, but heroic there. Blaber uses his ult not to try and live. He uses it to go back in, get the double fear so they get the extra kills in addition to already landing the smite. It is a big, big advantage for Cloud9, even though you trade over the bottom side first dragon. The gold lead plus the Rift Herald gives you so much potential here through the mid game. And remember, this Cloud9 setup has so much hard CC that it's very easy for them to force on the consecutive neutral objectives. And so Dignitas are really going to have to plan very meaningful poke around the next dragon if they want to try and contest it all. Look at that smite. Blaber, steady hands, waits until the end, and then here he falls asleep. He wakes up just in time to barely get his ultimate off. All right, there is actually zero chance that you ever get out alive, even if you tried to hold up there. So it wasn't really a choice.
So you don't just get flamed for running, you would get mega flamed.
Yeah, you get mega flamed for just
bad.
being dumb.
Yeah.
And so there's not really a choice there, but the timing is nice. You know, to barely be able to get off your ultimate, and so you do get your fear as you're dying, is good for your team to be able to pick up those kills. And so Cloud9 now in a position to snowball. They've got the full winter. What's it called? Your most
what are you
hated
talking
item?
about?
Ahri's item.
Oh, Everfrost.
Everfrost.
The full winter.
There's so many winter-related items now.
Oh,
my God. He's dead
but
again.
it's about to be a cold day in top lane for FakeGod. The man is freezing to death up here against Summit, who is just knocking him around.
Okay.
River goes in, nice kick back into the wall. Summit tries to get away and outplay. River still in hot pursuit,
No.
misses Sonic Wave. And Summit's still looking for him. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, the fun's not done. Summit sticks around a little bit too long. Discretion's the better part of Valor, but Summit is now dead. A little bit more damage goes through. Biofrost gets away, but Neo don't. Cloud9, 5-2 game.
All right, well, the game has erupted, Flowers, and
Yeah.
all the action that we wanted. That was quite a nice dodge on the first Sonic Wave on top side from Summit, but it looks like he got too much
Oh, he
confidence.
was just daring him, man.
Yeah.
He was daring him.
He wanted to style on him with the fancy footwear. Cloud9, that's one of the ones where they can also kind of shrug it off as they smash on bottom side with it being a strong side play for them. Summit basically 1v2'd there. He solo kills FakeGod and draws jungler attention up to him. So Cloud9 know they have full authority to make a bottom side play. Two members of Dignitas committed to the top side to try and deal with Summit, and so Blaber pulls off the gank and the Rift Herald afterwards. Here's another look at how he set it up. Oh, nice wall up there as he's getting knocked back. So the wall still landed, and he lands every single Q thus far. This one early flash there by FakeGod, so he's not going to land that Q, but then he's very close to the wall. Doesn't quite get it there, then wall up, and he's dead. This was the coolest sidestep, though, because River uses the ward hop and kick into the wall and still can't finish him. So close. He barely dodged that Q. But I want to see the second one, because now he's like, all right, Q's down. I dodged you. And he's flirting with danger. Ward hop into another one. River gets the last laugh.
River got him eventually. I love it. I love how it's all smiles. It's just like, hey, I was taking the skill check, and he called my bluff. He got me on that one.
Yeah.
It's fun, though. It's fun. But top side is not fun for Dignitas because the turret has fallen. Second turret of the game down on the Dignitas side means a 4,000 gold lead for Cloud9. And Kobe, you were talking earlier back in draft about how you feel like Cloud9 has so many angles, so many different ways to play these things. Summit tried to make the engage there, didn't quite find it. I feel like Dignitas's poke has to be that much more effective now that they're this far behind. 4K gold deficit, you're not taking any fight straight up. These bubbles, these shot blasts, gotta be landing.
And part of the other cautionary tale that we told in Champ Select was that you want to generally play poke compositions from ahead. You know, it's much more about snowballing and keeping up your offensive pressure with pushing the lane so you can siege up, so you can get the advantage of that range without having opportunities for your opponents to engage. Since they are so far behind here, it is going to be very, very difficult to set up at the objectives to be able to get their poke damage before the engage comes through, because Cloud9, they're already opening up this map so easily. They've got both side turrets down. So, you know, they can go for multiple flank angles. They can get wards in all these brush and threaten the hard engage onto Dignitas here before the dragon even arrives. They've got 20 seconds here, and everybody's back on the map. Fudge uses his teleport here. Early river wards have already been accomplished here for Cloud9. This might be a break moment here, though. Dignitas, let's see if they can fish around. Maybe, like you're saying, a Sleepy Trouble bubble can win you a big advantage.
They get the Leona there. River tries to go in on it, but now River is isolated from the rest of the team. This was not the call that Dignitas needed. The Ahri goes to sleep, but the Zoe goes to hell. A double kill for Fudge, and there's nothing Dignitas can do about it.
I like the sound of that one. Berserker's under tower, and he's burning down too. Looks like, you know, Blue's not going to get lonely down in hell. Another sinner takes the path.
We weren't talking about Blue, we were talking about Zoe. I'm trying to keep it at least somewhat positive here. All right, Cloud9, they're taking themselves an objective. They will grab the Drake, the second one of the game, the first one for themselves. So no potential soul stacking here early on in this one. Tied up in that respect, 2 turrets to nothing still. FakeGod again, every time the camera pans over to him, Kobe, we're just seeing Summit chunk him lower and lower and lower and continue to dominate the side lane 1v1.
Yeah, this is beginning to get untenable for Dignitas. So this sleep is an opportunity for poke, but they actually full commit here. River uses everything, his ward hop, his kick, and his flash on just the support. The Leona, the literal least valuable player on the Cloud9 lineup, and Cloud9 are so happy to see that. They dive in, they pick up all the extra kills. Here's where it gets kind of thrown back, though.
Really nice.
Biofrost snipes a death sentence here. Very nice from him. He's pretty far down the lane, out of vision, so good positioning and you know, the chance to jump on this opportunity. Still showing through for some of the Dig players here to at least open up some pick opportunities. You know, a kill here or there can, you know, try and get you back afloat in this game.
Right, it's not going to be an even trade for what you just lost, but at least you're getting something back instead of absolutely nothing. I've got to put a lot of criticism on Dig there, though, for going in, for Summit not being able, or not Summit, excuse me, for River not being able to find a valuable target and just going after Winsome. I feel like the Leona kick is never going to be the angle in a situation like this, and it just all fell apart.
It certainly was not. There's nothing more to say there. He definitely would want that one back too. Dignitas were feeling pressured though. I think in those situations you just try and poke down whoever got slept, but FakeGod was also pretty far away from the slept target, so you know, they were hoping, okay, maybe if we instantly get a pick off and get a better angle on the pick, we can maybe delete one person and then try and reset before they burn down the dragon, but obviously did not go according to that plan. And now it is just further down, you know, the C9 win condition is more than alive and well. It is definitely flourishing here.
This is so difficult to deal with for Dignitas. When you're looking at Cloud9, almost every player is on their second item already. Trinity Force for the Gnar, Frozen Heart for the Hecarim. You've got a Shadow Flame plus that Everfrost you were talking about for the Ahri, Rapid Fire Cannon for the Jinx. No one on the side of Dignitas has that second big item fully completed yet, and that's just showing how far ahead C9 is. Rift Herald going to be summoned up here in the mid lane. The charge alone should be enough to take this turret out.
Yep, Cloud9 closing in. No opportunities for Dignitas poke either. Nice hook on the side from Bio. Does get an ultimate out, but he also trades with his own Thresh ultimate.
And mid lane, tier 2 turret takes a beating. Tier 2 turret goes down. More gold in Cloud9 pockets. Nearly a 7,000 lead. They land a Sleepy Trouble onto Fudge. They're going to get the ulti out of him as well. But just getting these ultis is not enough. Cloud9 can disengage in time, and you know they're not going to feel pressured to fight again before the ultis come off cooldown. Another bubble finds its mark, this time onto Summit. Dig will put a little bit of damage into the C9 top laner, getting him pretty low now, ready to go back over the wall with a blast cone. Blue decides to follow Flash. Blue's in there, Blue's out of there. The counterattack comes in, and Berserker with the super mega death rocket trades even.
Sends him back home again. Jinx gets the kill credit here, 1-for-1 trade, but Dignitas still trying to use some semblance of pressure to their advantage here, pushing out this wave, and Blaber for the pincer.
Blaber's there. He's ready to go with this one here. Neo's already locked down, and Fudge is unstoppable. River tries to get away, but Winsome's ready to lock him down now, too. Lee Sin's normally pretty mobile, but that horse is a galloping right back over the wall. He's trying to run. Oh, but Blaber's got his number. FakeGod wants to get away now, but he'll be slammed right back into the wall. Fudge tries to read where the Lantern's going to take him there, time it perfectly. Doesn't quite land it, so FakeGod's going to stay alive. But he does lose his flag.
That play, Flowers, afforded to you by Deep Wards.
Oh, yeah.
Very beautiful teleport from Fudge here on the Ahri. Flanks them at the perfect time, right next to Berserker. Berserker, cleanse used, goes down immediately, though. Doesn't even get off the flash. The Baron is Cloud9's easy reward. And honestly, they have wasted no time this weekend getting right back on track.
This Cloud9 team looks very, very, very scary, my friend. 10,000 gold lead, 22.5 minutes into the game. Dignitas just feels completely without an option to fight back. Yes, they should be able to secure themselves a Drake here, but again, because the Drakes are at 1-to-1, this isn't really putting any major pressure on Cloud9.
Yeah, especially because the pressure that it builds to, you know, continual dragon stacking is a way to try and force 5-on-5s. And if you go up to Cloud9 and say, hey, 5-on-5 us, they will say yes every time because they are over 10,000 gold ahead with a extremely strong team fighting setup. So they are not worried one bit about the dragons being picked up by Dig. Sometimes though, you know, that slingshot win condition can bite you in the butt if they happen to get, you know, smite steals or something and cash in on the soul. That is what Dig have to hope for.
Right.
So it is on them. Very good pickup for them. You know, they still have to go try and grab it because, you know, maybe there is a world where they're able to snipe.
Hope and faith are one of the core tenets of any team that's down 10,000 gold in a game of League of Legends. Like, at that point, you need something to go your way that's not necessarily immediately under your control, because your opponents are just so far ahead. They're calling all the shots. Dignitas will lose their first inhibitor in the top lane as pressure is applied to the remaining 2 lanes now by C9. Fudge pushing up bottom by himself. Everybody else grouped up here in mid. Blaber's making sure that the waves can't get shoved out super easily here in top. Stun comes out from the Leona onto Biofrost. It won't turn into a whole lot of anything. Tier 3 turret falls mid. Tier 3 turret is about to fall bottom. The Dignitas base crumbles to dust and Dig says nothing about it. Blaber will be the first one to engage. FakeGod will be the first to die. They've already got him and they're looking for more. Fudge goes in looking for anything else, but he won't find the lockdown. Inhibitor number 2 is gone. Inhibitor number 3 is gone. Dignitas just went silently into the night on this one. They never found a moment to try to stop this. Cloud9 went in first. Cloud9 got the inhibitors. Cloud9 got the pick. And Cloud9 has been running this game.
Yeah.
One more hit onto that inhibitor. Not the inhibitor, we're on the Nexus turrets already. Damn it, it's already gone.
The original inhibitor, some call it.
Yeah, the one that inhibits you losing the game.
I got you, I got you. It is an inhibitor, and it is a Nexus.
The gold graph looks like a Stairmaster. It just goes straight up, and it has no intention to ever stop it.
Cloud9 stonks.
Yeah, that's something like that, buddy. Holy moly, 12,500 gold lead, 11 kills to 4, 10 turrets to 0. Cloud9 controls the entire map. This is curtains for Dig.
And they, you know, their champ select was extremely strong. I think even Dig had some bad answers into what they already saw on the table in front of them. But also, the execution here, Cloud9 never hesitating. Blaber was able to match farm with Lee Sin all the way through level 7 with Lee Sin getting no ganks off. And so Hecarim is so happy in this scenario. Now he's even happier finding River.
River gets away. No, he doesn't. I jinxed it. I'm sorry, okay. River. I didn't mean to, buddy. Neo's trying to get out of this one now. He's got plenty of chakrams. Blaber's still looking for the chance, seeing if maybe he can go in, trying to wait for those things to drop, but they last long enough to get Neo away to safety. But safety doesn't last very long in a situation like this. 5v4 for Cloud9 on the map. Remaining Nexus turret falls now. C9 pushing forward. Dig finds no safety, no solace, even in their own base. They'll get one at the very end. But Cloud9 stomp this game. 26 minutes in, they get the dub.
Beastly performance there from Cloud9, but let's be honest, Dignitas going to be disappointed with themselves for that one. I think this, to me, is the first time I've come out of a Dignitas game and thought River had a bad game. This man has been my jungle idol, you know, in the early stages of LCS this year. This one definitely does not meet his own mark. You know, I feel like not being able to finding openings in the game early on, but also later, you know, at the team fight as well, kicking in the Leona. Cloud9 just absolutely steamroll this game.
I mean, you pointed it out early when you were talking about farming Lee Sin versus farming Hecarim. You want farming Hecarim 10 times out of 10. It just felt like those windows were never there. There were never those opportunities created. Dignitas didn't get on the board early. They weren't able to play from that position of strength that you talked about, that a poke composition almost needs to be playing from, especially when you consider the fact that before we even saw the draft, you know, all the analysts were predicting Cloud9 anyway. You're coming into this as the underdog. If you draft poke and you end up behind, yikes.
Cloud9 giving it to him in all 3 lanes as well early on. Sets themselves up with so many options. You know, bottom lane is pushing, bottom lane has pressure. Summit gets solo kills on FakeGod and then even evading most of the jungle ganks towards him as well. That'll make quick work of it.
All righty. Well, Cloud9 start off this super week with a bang, which